Come on, Adam, this is your big day. Senior skip day. It's a rite of passage. It's like the best thing about being a senior.
Where are they having it this year?
I don't know.
Well, maybe you could have the skip day party here, just like your sister did.
Mom, I've apologized about that party a million times.
Well, I still can't figure out how my bed ended up in the pool.
And welcome back to Vox Popcast, the weekly pseudo-academic roundtable of pop culture analysis with drinking and swearing. My name is Christopher Maverick, but you can call me Mav, and I am once again here with my co-host, Wayne Wise. How's it going, Wayne?
Much the same as every other day. For the rest of forever.
For the rest of forever. Yeah, we are.
If I can quote my favorite movie and yours, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, time means nothing, never will again.
Go back to previous episodes about my feelings on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But that said, probably pretty apt. We are some number of days into the global coronavirus pandemic that I don't even know anymore. I don't remember life in the before times.
I am told there were places.
Oh, places. I remember places.
Yeah.
I used to go to those.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to do a silly show today. Silly, but I think serious topic.
Yeah. It's serious for the people it has an impact on.
Yeah. So this started, interestingly enough, in the now times, you know, after the long ago. In the now times, people kind of have taken to getting all their socializing done now on social media because we have nothing else. Because
there was some of that in the before times, but it has definitely increased. Yeah.
And I mean, I know some people are, I'm never using Facebook again. I have friends who do that all the time. Yeah. I'm leaving Twitter. I'm announcing this. Everybody, I am gone. I'm leaving. You can find me on, and insert brand new.
A week later, they're back.
They're back. Yeah. Because it's like, you don't need to announce that you're going away, but okay. But now, because no one has friends anymore, or real life, or bars, or stores, or vacations. Yeah, there's places don't exist. So now everybody can only communicate on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Tumblr or whatever your platform of choice is. And to me, at least, it seems that memes have picked up. There are so many memes going around.
Because we're all bored.
Yeah. And I've never been big on them. I ignore them a lot. I mean, if something's really funny, I repost news stories sometimes, but I never do the, like you very much are into the post 7 albums that are whatever, post 7 comics, 7 movies.
It depends on the topic. I mean, the music and comic stuff I tend to do. I typically don't do movies.
Yeah, because you've only seen 4 of them in your life. So,
right, But yeah, the comics and movies things I do. Some of that, I was thinking about it because I started today. I was tagged on the posting graphic novels, and as I said in my post, strap in. They're asking for 7 a day. This is going to continue for untold
80 days. Yeah.
But I was thinking about that. Part of it is just this is so much my thing, and it's an extension of what my job was for years. What was I paid to do for 22 years? Recommend comics. So this is kind of me continuing to do that, I guess.
And I have no problem with it. I just don't do them because honestly, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, I ramble enough online. This show.
And you will notice when I do that, I mean, part of those games is tag somebody else. I never tag anybody else.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do it, great. If not, okay.
Yeah. The one that I've seen that has been really interesting to me, and we talked about this on the blog. Originally, I didn't understand what the purpose of it was. Like I kept seeing people do. Yeah. And I'm not sure if this was the original purpose or not, but I've started seeing people do we're all trapped inside. Post your high school senior photo or whatever. And I ignored it because I ignore all of them.
Yeah. And I saw that. The first one I saw was from a woman that I have known for about 10 years, but quite honestly, know peripherally. And just she posted hers and we graduated the same year. And I don't know that I ever processed that, we were exactly the same age. I knew we were within 5 years, but it's like, oh, okay. And that just kind of prompted me to post mine. And later it comes up like, this is supposed to be in support of all those poor seniors from 2020 who are trapped in and aren't having problems or anything. And quite honestly, I'm not sure how that supports them. And I posted mine just because, I wanted the internet. I wanted the likes because, I don't know if you saw my picture, Mav. I was a straight up snack when I was 17.
Okay. Well, and that's kind of been the thing. For me, it was interesting for a couple of reasons. First off, I got to see, I won't say the name, but the girl that I had a crush on when I was 17 posted her picture. And I was like, oh, yeah. She was absolutely hot back then. She's hot now. But she's absolutely hot back then. And then I went, but how did I like that haircut? That's so tragic. What were we thinking? So that was one thing. But and to me, it was really about that. It was just about like how, let's look back at how everybody looked when, in the long ago before you got old.
And for people that we didn't know back then, I got a kick out of seeing, and particularly people who are more my contemporary age wise, just, I met you when you were 40. Just seeing that was interesting. It gives sort of some insight into their history and who they were as people and that sort of thing. I found that fascinating as an older person, being able to look back and see those changes. When you're 17, you don't realize how beautiful you are. Mm-hmm.
Except for you did apparently, because you said you were.
I didn't bet. I didn't bet.
Okay.
That picture has gotten better every year that I've gotten worse.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of a reverse. The picture in the attic guy, Dorian Gray.
I actually look a lot like I did back then. I really haven't changed.
Yeah.
But anyway, I that said, the thing that you said at the end there, or in the middle, I suppose, that this is supposed to be in support of high school seniors. And it's like, hey, this will make them feel better. And then I saw a meme with Picard of how the hell is this supposed to make people feel better? It's almost taunting,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought about it. I was like, well, I'm not in high school. I don't know. Would I have felt bad about this? Would I have liked it? And I was like really fascinated by this idea. I even said on the blog, I wish somebody would study this. Somebody should find out whether or not kids, high school seniors are actually offended by this, or if they like this, or if they give a shit at all. And then while I was like thinking about that, I was actually talking with my wife and my mother about it. Wouldn't that be fascinating? And then I realized, hey, dummy, you have a show where you do this. This is like literally your job. You should be that guy who goes out and figures that out. It's like, oh, yeah. So we figured we should go out and get some high school seniors.
So we have a representative sample of 2 who will now speak for all high school seniors in America.
That's right. And if you disagree, you're wrong, because these are the 2 experts. Welcoming back to the show, Sophie, our longstanding official high schooler. Hey, Sophie.
Hey, Mav.
Hi, Sophie.
Welcome back.
Hey, Wayne.
So you're in high school for at least 15 more minutes.
Yep.
and are you looking forward to being done?
It's yes and no. I think if we finished it online or finished it in school, it would of course be bittersweet.
Okay.
But I mean, it's something to do right now.
Well, that's kind of part of what we're going to talk about. And so Sophie's not alone, because we'd hate for her to speak for all high schoolers ever. So as Wayne said, we have 2 people who will speak for all high schools ever. So welcoming to the show for the first time, Tristyn. Hey, Tristyn.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tristyn. Welcome to the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you were also in high school for 15 more minutes or so.
Yeah, pretty much. Who really knows what's happening right now? But I'm glad it's going to be over to an extent,
Oh, wow. So, well, that's my first question for both of you. You both said, Sophie said it's something to do for right now. Tristyn says, I'm glad it's going to be over. I mean, in general, are you just looking forward to, I guess the vast majority of your life for both of you has been in school of some kind. Are you just ready to be done? Is it about moving out? Is it about moving on with the rest of your life? Is it just, I'm sick of my hometown?
I'm tired.
For me, sorry. Oh, go for it. Go for it. Okay, thanks. For me personally, I just feel like I am so thankful for where I live. I love my school to an extent, but I'm also super excited to move on with my life. Like, I've committed to the college that I'm going to go to. I'm just looking forward to the future, especially because senior events have been canceled. I'm just kind of ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Where's your school and I mean, if you're comfortable telling people,
Yeah, no problem.
Not your
So I'm
address,
in
but,
San Diego.
Right.
Yeah, of course. So I live in San Diego right now, and I committed to Stanford, which is like in the Bay Area.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And Sophie?
Yeah, I'm excited to be done, but also like there was a lot of things that I know me and so many of my friends were looking forward to. And it just kind of sucks because we got left out of that. Like the grade before us got to experience their whole senior year in person.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to just kind of go without saying goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that sense of closure is going to be the thing that's mostly missing.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I've in the last couple of times Sophie was on the show, I joked with you about how like I see Sophie post Instagram pictures from time to time, and I've joked that you only have 5 friends, and you've had the same 5 friends your entire life, as far as I can tell. And we talked about, I mean, it's obviously not true, but you've got your boyfriend and like 4 girls that you are really, really close to, and and as far as I can tell, you saw them every day for the 2 years that I've known you.
Yeah.
And probably long before that.
Yeah.
And that's just gone now, I assume.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Tristyn, I assume something similar to you. I mean, I don't know. Do you live in the same town you grew up in, or have you moved around?
I've lived here for the past 7 years. So I've lived here for a long time. So I got really close with some people. So kind of same situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tristyn, I have to ask because it ties into the theme of our show. Are you excited that Comic-Con will not be there this summer?
No, that is so funny to say that. We were actually supposed to go, so I'm not excited that it got canceled. But it's funny to see, though, like the crazy traffic that it causes. It's insane. I think it's funny and frustrating. I
was only there once in 2009, and it was insane. I stayed with friends just outside of the city limits. So. But anyway,
it's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like the first question we had a question that someone asked, and I know sort of a little bit about it just because I saw Tristyn's YouTube channel, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And also, as people who have heard Sophie on the show before know, I'm friends with her mom. So I know a little bit of the answer already. But we had one question from someone named Jen Marsden, who's a listener. And she said the one thing that she honestly wants to know is anybody secretly hanging out? Because I think as a teen in the 90s, this would have been torture. Then again, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
So I know, for instance, I know that both, you don't have to give their names, but I know that both Tristyn and Sophie have boyfriends who were suddenly ripped away from you. So how's that work?
That's funny.
Mav, it's awful.
Yeah.
I have not left my house since March 13th. March 13th was the day that my school found out that we wouldn't be going back. We would be going on a 2-week break, but obviously much longer than that.
For the listeners, as we record, it's April 21st now, so it's been weeks.
Yeah. So I have not left my house since then, but there has definitely not been complete 100% social distancing. I really need my friends.
Your mom told me that there's been basketball games in your driveway.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's awesome.
She's like, you guys can have an hour, but you're all staying outside 6 feet apart.
We're going to spray you down with a bleach hose when we're done.
What about you, Tristyn?
For me, I live only 5 minutes away, so I've been social distancing, but I have met up with friends where we just parked in an empty parking lot, and our cars were 6 feet away, and we ate in the back of our cars. It's really casual, but also it's hard to stay away from literally everyone that you know for so long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know in one of your videos, you and your boyfriend, you went to the beach, and it was the saddest thing that I've ever seen.
I know.
They're at the beach in San Diego,
crazy.
and there's nobody there. It's just the two of them sitting on a blanket looking at nothing.
That's really funny, though. That's crazy that it looked like that because it was actually like a park that overlooked the city. It's super, super beautiful. It's gorgeous. It like looks over everything. But there was a surprising amount of people there. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I definitely try to keep it out of the camera. People were distanced, but there were even old people walking. And this is when the pandemic really like first started up. I guess you could say people started to realize they needed to stay home. And I was surprised by I don't know if it's like brave or stupid, like the old people who were just walking around. Some people weren't social distancing. I don't know if it was because of the location or just like the day because it was early.
Yeah, that video was, I think it was the video that was for your birthday, I think. So it was like the very beginning.
April or March 20, like around then.
I should point that out. So your birthday happened during all this.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Your 18th birthday happened when the world was closed.
I know, it's crazy. It was so funny because it was literally the week right after everybody like kind of got on the day before my birthday, the California governor issued the safer at home thing. So it was just horrible timing.
I won't regale you with tales of my 18th birthday when I was visiting friends in Florida, and that was the legal drinking age there at the time.
That sounds much more fun than a quarantine birthday.
Sophie, what about you? You were 18 before the start, so you at least got your birthday.
Yeah, I turned 18 in October, so this was a very long time before this even started. But unfortunately, my sister and my dad both celebrated their birthdays in quarantine.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and I guess it's even hard. I mean, I've seen people, lots of friends. I mean, it's been 2 months now. You don't really think about how often people have birthdays, but if you know a lot of people, so it's a lot, right? And I've seen people I've seen the youngest was 1 year old, and that person didn't care, obviously, because she was just being held. But I've seen people, I've seen kids, like little kids, like 8 and 9 years old. I've seen teenagers. I've seen people in their 50s also, hey, it's my birthday and, we're celebrating, and they have a cake and like the one or two people who live there and were there anyway. And they're just all, like, everybody's posting pictures that are just happy birthday to me. I turn, 50, and there's 3 people in the photo with them who they saw yesterday and will see tomorrow. They live there.
Mav, a mutual friend of ours, Brian Babcock, both of his daughters had birthdays. The oldest turned 21.
21.
Yeah, the oldest turned 21, and the next turned 17. And their pictures like, here's me and my dad, happy birthday. And they look happy. They're great kids. I love that whole family dearly. But it's just like, aw.
Yeah, here's my first legal drink with my parents. Yay. Yeah. Well, so, I assume you guys have, what all have you missed? There's been, obviously there's birthday parties. Prom hasn't or wouldn't have happened yet anyway, but it's coming up or would have been coming up.
Yeah. So our school, we have so many senior activities. I'm sure at every school, and I can only attest to mine, but like the seniors are the royalty, if you will. So we have so many privileges.
Some things never change.
Yeah. And there's a lot of activities for seniors in the spring. You're really at school every other day in the spring. So we're missing, oh my gosh, what would be happening now? Senior skip days. Lots of those. There's
days. Wait, I'm sorry, several days?
You're kind of doing senior skip day anyway.
Yeah, this is actually a whole big prank. It's just a senior skip day, but it's for the rest of the year. Well, there's some that the students just do, and then some that the school does. There's a Six Flags trip that the school plans. That
your school was way cooler than mine was.
That sounds way cooler than mine too.
we did a senior trip, so we were gone for 4 days on a bus trip someplace.
What the heck is going on here, you guys? I'm missing out.
Yeah, I didn't have that either. I'm with you, Tristyn.
Well, Tristyn, you live in San Diego all the time, which is beautiful and sunshiny and stuff to do. And Mav, come on, you grew up in Cleveland. Who would want to leave?
Yeah. I'm not saying I didn't skip school senior year. I'm saying that there was no organized. There were no organized events. And like our senior skip days, there was no let's go on a trip. No, it was like I don't feel like going to school today. Let's go hang out in Dennis's basement and imbibe in substances that we're not supposed to have. Yeah. Like that was my senior skip day. Yeah. Dennis, I don't know if he listens to the show, but
and we did some of that as well. But there was an organized senior trip.
Yeah, I didn't have that. We did have events though. I'm just thinking. I mean, obviously we had prom. We had we
had a spring concert every year with the band and the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
We typically had a play every spring as well. I have a good friend who is an art teacher at a high school north of the city, and he puts on directs a school musical every year, and I've been going every year for the last 6 years. I went the first time just to be supportive of him, thinking, oh, high school musical, how good can this be? And was completely blown the fuck away by how good it was. Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to premiere last week, and there's an entire group of seniors who this was going to be their year. This is their performance, and it didn't happen. He's heartbroken, but he'll get to do it next year. Mm-hmm. There's that dozen or so seniors who've been working with him for the last 4 years that this was their year, and it's just gone.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any organized? I mean, I don't know if either of you play sports or cheerleading or plays or band, like any organized stuff that you're just not going to get to do.
100%.
Yeah, same here.
For us, the spring musical and the spring sports, which I'm in neither, but a lot of my friends are in them, and I am just so heartbroken that I can't go to their last musical or their last game. And it's equally sad for me that I can't go support my friends.
Well, and if your school was like this friend of mine I was just talking about, they had already been working on it since fall, all the pre-production stuff, and they were in rehearsals. School was shut down 3 weeks before tickets went on sale the week they shut down. Mm-hmm. So they had already put just a tremendous amount of work into it.
Mm-hmm.
Tristyn, what about you?
For me, I'm missing out on senior grad night where we all go to Disneyland, and then prom and, graduation, and then the plays, just a lot of little fun things that we would have.
You get to go to Disneyland as an official thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
You had Disneyland in Cleveland, right, Mav?
Yeah, sure. I had my friend's basement. That's what we.
Back my 18th birthday in Florida. That is one of the things I did within a week of graduating high school was go to Disney World in Florida. So.
Wow.
I hate you all. I've never been to Disneyland still. So. For the listener, the way that I came to know Tristyn is our parents. My mother is very good friends with Tristyn's mother, so she's like, "Oh, you should have this girl on the show." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." So Tristyn also knows my brother's family, and my nieces will tell me, "Oh, we're thinking of going to Disneyland. Have you ever been there?" No, I've not been to Disneyland. Screw you, even though you're 9. No, I've not been to Disneyland. I've still not been to Disneyland.
You can go on your own as an adult, Matt. It's okay.
No, I can't. Disneyland's closed. Hope it never opens up. Show you all. I'm taking the supervillain turn now.
When things clear up, you can go. I mean, it's close enough. It's a small world.
Oh, stop it!
So punny, Wayne.
Well, back to the senior picture thing. Did you guys even have senior pictures? I'm trying to think, when did I take mine? I think I actually took mine in the fall.
Yeah, mine was fall.
So I probably would have already had them done. What about you guys?
I took mine over the summer after my junior year. They had a schedule for the summer or the very beginning of senior year. So we all took ours really early.
Okay. Sophie?
Same here. We took them in I guess all throughout the summer. But I mean, I got mine done in August, right before senior year.
Oh, so they're already done.
Yeah.
Well, you'll at least have those so that like when there's a pandemic 20 years from now, you can make fun of other people by posting them to Facebook or whatever exists. That's something.
They took pictures of us in grad gowns and caps, and my sister made a joke that was going to be the only time that anyone would ever see me in a cap and gown.
And now it actually is.
Yeah.
For different, I mean, it is kind of a weird thing though. Like, I mean, is there even a yearbook? Because I was on yearbook club when I was a senior. And so, you know,
no activities. What do you,
right. Well, who's actually editing it? Who puts that together? Like, I mean, I guess I could have done that at home, but like, what do you even fill the book with? You know, and the best quarantine survivor was, you know, like there's nothing. like what do you do?
Most likely to survive
good idea.
COVID-19.
You know, that sounds cool. For my school, the yearbook is still going on. They're just doing it, I guess, remotely.
What are they putting in though? Like, it's like, oh, and here are pictures of the empty stadium where we might have had a football game or a basketball game if there were such things, which there are not. You know, I guess football would have been done already. So, but like, there are no spring sports.
Concert and the play and all that stuff we just talked about. Yeah.
We had like, a few throughout the year. So there are different things that they're putting in, like events that we had beforehand, like homecoming court is going to be in there. And they have different pictures of clubs and everything. It'll just be sad to not have the senior pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just throwing out an idea is you should all submit photos of yourself from what you're doing at home during this time. And just fill your yearbook with, you know, like, here's the last 2 months of our senior year.
Everybody in pajamas in front of a Zoom.
That's a good idea.
Our yearbook is so actually we have a really good yearbook club. They're being very diligent. They're like emailing the seniors about all the stuff that they're changing. They're going to have a COVID section, which people are like upset about because we don't want to be remembered as the seniors who couldn't finish their year, the ones that got ruined with COVID. But
but you are, so
you are. Yeah, you're kind of doomed to that.
We actually had one of a really like known and loved teacher unfortunately pass away this year. Aww. So they're giving him a pretty big section. So that's really nice because
we had that my senior year. Just a teacher who was...
He was like a really big part of the school. Like all of the schools, he was a coach for sports and everyone really misses him. So they're doing a big thing for him.
That's good. So so there's a life, you know, a life going on kind of thing, I guess, is what you're saying. Like you do have, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, you said you don't want to be remembered as the COVID, you know, but I don't know how that's avoidable because it's not like you're both going to college in the fall. And the one thing that you have...
let's hope.
well, okay, I'm sorry. You'll both be in college in the fall. Where that occurs, we don't know yet. But the one thing that you're going to have in common with all of your new friends is that, I mean, and because I remember, in fact, Sophie, when you were on the show, we were talking about how do you make friends at college. And, you know, we talked about going to clubs where, you know, just find people who have something in common with you. And blah, blah, blah. And, well, everybody in your generation has one thing in common now. Like no matter where in the world they're from, they're, you know, remember that time where we were all in our houses for 4 months, you know?
2020.
And that is the difference with this. Like with 9/11, everybody has their stories of where they were or Pearl Harbor, and with the pandemic, all of our stories are the same. I was home.
Yeah. Did a lot of talking to my friends on FaceTime. Yep, that's.
It's like my grandfather saved the world by going to war. I saved the world by sitting at home.
I watched Tiger King 4 times.
Respect my heroism.
So what are common things that you're doing? Like, how are you passing time? I mean, obviously, like Sophie, you talked about your social distancing hangouts, and Tristyn, you did the same thing, like hang out in a parking lot. Like, how do you make do? Like, what other things? I assume there's a lot of FaceTiming with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot.
I've been trying to pick up some new hobbies, but it's hard. It's funny because I feel like everybody has that moment where they wish time would slow down or stop. And now that we have that, it's a great time to get better at things that I want to do. But whenever I try and learn how to play piano again, I'm like, dang, this is boring. It's hard to do some productive things. Sometimes I just want to sit down and watch shows, you know?
Yeah, I think so much of that creativity and productivity, you think it's free time, but for me, a lot of it is responding against the structure I have built into my life. Like, because of the structure, I have to carve out time to do those things. Without structure, there's sort of that ongoing, yeah, I can do that later.
Yeah. Seriously.
For me, we've been doing a lot of puzzles. I feel like I see that theme. Puzzles.
Like jigsaw puzzles?
Yeah.
Yeah, us too. We have my wife has been ordering them. So
yeah, I don't know anybody that's not doing puzzles. They're so fun, but like frustrating, but like fun.
Puzzles or Lego. We do Lego too.
Oh, Legos.
It is weird because like Tristyn, you were saying, you were like, oh, maybe I'll learn to play piano. Maybe I'll learn to play guitar. But like, it just, there's, along with the shut-in comes a lot of lack of motivation. And, you know, part of it's got to be okay. Like I'm finishing my dissertation. I'm getting a lot of work done on it because I have nothing better to do with my life. But, but then every once in a while I go, that's enough schoolwork for today. Because school is now, I mean, that's one of the things I'm curious about. You guys have, you know, you're still technically in school in weird quote marks, but like, how is that even working? I imagine there's probably a lot. Well, I know what they're doing in colleges because, you know, me and all my friends teach that. But like, I imagine they're going to want some bit of structure. Like, okay, at 10 a.m., we want everybody to log into the Zoom class for chemistry class. And then why? You know?
Yeah, I feel them.
I mean, are they doing that, or are they just kind of giving you a bunch of homework and saying, turn this in the next week sometime?
For me, it's a mix of both, to be honest. There's a district policy where I live that our grades cannot drop from the time that we got out of school, which is really nice. I don't really have to fear failing any classes. But I do have some teachers giving like minimal work. They're being very understanding. And then I have teachers like bombing me with a bunch of assignments that we would never get during the regular school week. So it's just like a mix.
Proving that they're being useful.
Yeah, I think that's more indicative of them not knowing how to do this either than anything else.
For my school, so we actually got out, like I mentioned, on what was it, March 13th, which was a Friday, and the next, Friday the 13th, we found out. It was great.
Wow.
That's crazy.
We were so that Friday, if that didn't happen, we were gonna come back to school on Monday and take our exams. So they decided to cancel exams, and we were just gonna start in on our next trimester. So they put out a schedule. We actually can't have Zoom classes anymore, but
Really?
we can have like Google Hangout things now.
Wait, why?
Oh my God, you can totally look it up on Google if you type in Madison, Connecticut Zoom or whatever. There was like people Zoom bombing, which is like when kids from not class come to class.
Okay.
It's a whole thing. But there's a schedule and we have weekly things. So something from the week before won't run into the next week. And especially, so this is our third trimester, our last trimester, and seniors, all of my classes are new. So I've only gotten 100s in the grade book for everything.
Oh, wow. I got straight A's during the COVID crisis.
It's like totally busy work, but it's like way easier than anything we could have gotten in school. It's like, watch this video, read this article, write a short response.
And I mean, do you like that? I mean, I guess you said it's busy work, but I mean, on some level, you've got to be thinking, yeah, but I do have to do college one day, and it would be nice if I was learning something for that. But also, wow, this is better than just being there and doing, you know, a 20-page essay. you know?
Yeah,
I do. I think so much of that is just the teachers weren't prepared for this either. They don't know how to make their lessons work this way. And I talked to friends of ours who teach, who are kind of in that same position. Like suddenly, I have to figure out how to finish this semester online for something that has been a lecture
without
thing.
planning. Yeah, because I've taught, to be from the other side, I have taught online and in person but every online class I've ever taught, I knew I was doing it ahead of time. And there's different preparation when I have, okay, you're going to teach freshman English over the summer. Okay, well, all right. I start preparing for that in March, and you know, and by the time summer gets here, I'm ready. It's like you're teaching online. It's not the case where, you know, oh, you're teaching your class that you've been teaching forever in person online now starting Monday. Good luck.
I just talked with our friend Mark. He had like 4 days to figure out how to do this, and he just, you know, he just said to me, and he personally, he's not comfortable doing video lectures. That type of thing. Classes are too big for Zoom. You know, you got 35 kids in your class. But that would be madness. So he was just. How
big are your classes, Sophie and Tristyn? How big? How many people are on these Zoom calls or Google Hangouts or whatever?
28 to like 32, maybe.
That sounds horrible and insane.
Yeah.
The attendance is not high.
Yeah.
Okay, Sophie, what was that?
Sorry.
The classes have about 20 kids, but the Zoom thingies, they only have about like 10 kids in them. Yeah. People don't really come in, even though they count. That's how they check attendance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. For my school, I think that like I haven't actually had a Zoom class because of the Zoom bombing things. So they've done Microsoft Teams and Google Hangouts, but it's pretty much been optional. And I think that my AP teachers are stressing out the most and assigning like the most work.
How do you handle, you both have siblings, right?
Yeah.
How do you handle things like I imagine, and I guess it depends on the person. Do you have your own laptops that are just yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully, yes.
Okay, because if there was like a family computer and then suddenly you're like, okay, everybody is now doing school from home, and I think you both only have one sibling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was one of 3, and it would have really sucked because we had by senior year I had my own computer, but that's because I bought my own computer. We had a family computer, and we just wouldn't have been able to do that. You know, like there just wouldn't have been like okay, be on at 9. Well, my class is also 9. Well, so is mine. Like, I don't know how we would have handled that.
Back in my day, my entire high school had one computer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you handle that. And also, like, I imagine like everybody's internet is just really fucking slow right now because you're all at home all the time. And like I don't know, Tristyn, I don't know what your parents. Actually, no, I do know what your parents do. Your dad's a teacher. And like I know Sophie's parents, so they're working from home too. Like everybody's just at home all the time. You got to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to be sick of them, but also just like in each other's way, I would imagine.
Thankfully, no. In my household, we all have our own devices. We're really, really lucky in that way. So it hasn't been too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad had always worked from home, so he had his own home office. And my sister has a Chromebook that was issued by the school. The school started doing that with her grades. So the sophomores and the freshmen have their own Chromebooks, but the seniors and juniors, we kind of had to use whatever we had or whatever. And my mom has a computer, and we pretty much stay out of each other's way. Me and my sister do our work in the morning, and she does hers in her bedroom. I do mine in the kitchen, and then my mom and dad are in their little office-y spaces.
So did everybody was this like pre-set out, or did everybody just staked out their own area of the house once everybody got quarantined?
Yeah, we kind of were I was like, I'm working in the kitchen. Kate's like, I'm working in my room.
It'd be great if there's like, you just like drawing tape lines. Tristyn, what about you? Same thing, or?
Yeah, pretty much same thing. My little brother is only in 6th grade right now, so his work isn't like too intensive. He just does it in the office, and then I have my room. My dad just does his wherever. It's pretty casual.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, I want to get back to some of the social stuff, because that's what I would really miss. If it were me, I would be really upset about, and you guys mentioned it, you know, I can't imagine actually, I can't imagine, because it did happen to me. I'm here too, right? But like suddenly I can't see my friends. Not in common, you know, like Wayne and I have this show that we talk to weekly, but we can't just go to a bar. We can't just go hang out at the comic book shop. Those things are gone. There's no Wayne. I know for instance, Wayne, you've played in this role playing game campaign for years.
We're not doing it.
Yeah, that's just gone. I go and play pub trivia. I go to a bar with friends of mine every week and just play trivia games. Just because, not even for the drinking, it's just, it's neat to see my friends once a week. We have dinner and we answer stupid trivia questions for 2 hours. That's great. And that's gone now. And everybody's trying to simulate it. We're doing stuff online. We hang out in Zoom meetings and everything.
Well, and that's just other groups of friends. We will do, an occasional, not scheduled every month, but we do the occasional let's get together and have dinner and hang out thing.
Dinner, go to movies. Yeah. And those are all gone. And I brought it up before. That would mean it's hard enough for me now with, my grown up friends that like I've just met through life. But like, if it's people that you've literally hung out with since, elementary school and you're not ready. It's not like you broke up with your friends, like you didn't, you didn't get into a fight. You just suddenly, it was just ripped away from you. What are the things that you're doing in order to maintain socialness besides playing basketball in from 6 feet, block anybody?
A lot of people are just really FaceTiming or meeting up in parking lots, like Tristyn said, parking their cars like 6 feet apart. But it's so hard.
Yeah. I think that for me personally, and just my generation in general, at least where I live, I've noticed a lot of us are coping through humor. Like TikTok, people are making really funny quarantine jokes and we all just send it to each other. And we talk about it whenever we meet up on Zoom or like in a parking lot. So I feel like humor is a way that we're all kind of staying united during this time.
I 100% agree with that.
Black humor helps in most situations in life.
For sure. Yeah.
So TikTok, definitely buy stock in TikTok is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's the only human interaction you get. I guess you make do is, I wonder things like, I made the joke about being in pajamas, which is, there was a meme that I saw, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks in that I realized is so much like a part of my life. It was just like, oh, it's 7 p.m. Time to take off my daytime pajamas and put on my nighttime pajamas.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. and then and I said that, and I looked down, and I'm wearing sweatpants, and
I predict the death of the trousers industry.
Yeah, and that's. I think that's kind of a thing. But then I thought about stuff I thought about Tristyn's video, because I know your very first video was on your birthday, which you said was 3 days into quarantine or something like that.
Really right when it started.
Yeah. And like Tristyn's, most of your videos are actually somewhat informative and they're about how you got into school and stuff like that. But your first one is, it's my birthday, I'm in quarantine, fuck it, I'm doing makeup anyway.
Yeah. That was exactly the way that I was feeling, because I knew that I wanted to start a YouTube just because a lot of people in my area asked me how I got into the school that I got into and wanted tips, and I want to help people because a lot of YouTube advice is what helped me. But for my first video, I really just wanted to have that memory of my 18th birthday. I was going to go to the same park that I went to with my friends, but I was like, I'm not just going to sit at home and like mope, I want to go out and do something nice.
So how much of that happens? Like, I'm just curious, because I'm trying to think. Wayne, I know you're doing, your roommate and your roommate's girlfriend have posted weekly. Kristen is friend of ours, came out with what did she call it? Fancy Friday or something like that?
Fancy Friday. I've fallen back on that. I did the first one. I haven't done anything since because I only got so many fancy clothes. And I really can't do my own makeup. Right.
But Kristen's taken it very seriously.
Oh yeah, very much. And it has spread. I've seen other people posting the hashtag, like extended friends who have seen it on my post who don't know her at all. So it is spreading some. But yeah, she's taking it very seriously. And it was kind of that idea of we're all sitting at home in our own filth. On Friday, I'm going to dress up and look pretty. Right.
So she looks so every Friday, Kristen looks like she's going to prom. And then she sits there on her computer and does whatever work she's supposed to be doing anyway. So do you guys, now Tristyn, you obviously did that for your birthday, but is it that? Do you find time to just do stuff to make yourself feel better? Or is it really just Sitting in my pajamas, which is like there's nowhere to go. There's nothing. Which do you do?
I feel like for me, it's been half and half. When I just stay in my pajamas all day, I find myself feeling like a literal like potato, just a block of cheese. Like I feel like nothing is happening. So for me, whenever I get dressed or if I do my makeup, I feel a lot more driven to be productive personally.
Sophie?
I don't think I've put on real clothes except for the 2 times that I've seen my boyfriend. Because like I'm just sitting at my kitchen table doing some like I don't know, some like psychology stuff. Like I don't want to be wearing jeans or some like nice top. Like I want to be wearing my sweatshirt and my sweatpants.
I'm on Team Sophie.
For the most part, same here. The last couple of weeks we did a Zoom call with just some old friends on Wednesday night. We're going to try to make a regular habit of this, and I put on like real clothes for that. And these are all people who have seen me at my worst over the years. So it's not like I needed to pretty myself up for these people. They're just like, I haven't seen them for a while. I'll put on a shirt.
Yeah,
like an actual shirt.
I guess I comb my hair if I'm doing one of those.
As you know, I don't do much of that under any circumstance. I was letting my beard go. Mav, as you know, I've never done the full on hipster beard. I've always had one, but it's trimmed down pretty close to my face, and I'd let it go longer than I'd ever gone in my life without trimming it. And I was kind of like, I'm gonna do my quarantine beard. I'm never gonna have this chance again. I'm gonna see what it looks like. And yesterday morning, he's like, oh no, fuck this, I got to do something. It was driving me crazy.
Well, there is my brother has a full beard now. I can't, for one thing, I just don't like how it looks on me. But also things like, I got to shower every day. I gotta shave, not as often as I'd be shaving if I were going out and going to work and teaching and stuff. But I have to at some point. So I guess there's a little bit of what Tristyn's saying. At some point, I sort of cease feeling human if I'm not taking care of myself to some minimal amount, So, yeah. But I don't know. But I don't know that I'm at the point where it's like the kind of the amount of effort I put into being a part of society, because there isn't one right now. Like I no makeup because I don't wear makeup. But as far as like, I mean, what am I gonna wear a tie? Oh God, no. Jesus, why would I do that to myself? And I wonder.
I put one on for the Fancy Friday pick.
Yeah. And the same thing. I mean, now again, Tristyn, I know you had a special occasion. You dressed up. You were taking video of yourself, and this was look. I'm turning 18 one time in my life, and I want there to be something, right? So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, how much of it, Sophie? You said you saw your boyfriend like twice. Is it more of an effort than it would be on a normal date, or is it just I just don't want him to like look at me and think that I'm a troll?
Well, I mean, I put on like a nice flannel. That's dressing up.
You're again not a prom dress. You're like
I don't think I've put on makeup since, like the last day that I was really outside in the world.
Yeah, funny. Oh my gosh.
I think we all have lower expectations now. So you'll be okay.
For me, I'm like a super girly girl most of the time, and I really like fashion. So I've been trying to get dressed and look nice because of my videos and also because I kind of want to do a little like thrifting series now that we're all at home. I want to show the clothes that I got sustainably. Yeah. It's just something fun for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess that's so part of that is, I mean, people are always saying, don't dress for other people. Don't do makeup for others. Do it for yourself. And I guess you're really doing that, right? Because there are no other people. Your mom, your dad, and your brother are not impressed with you. So.
Yeah, I know. It's super funny.
So, okay, the last thing I want to that I'm really curious about is, none of us know how long this is going to last, right? Like people, if you are a moron who happens to be in charge of the country, you might say, oh, we're going to be open up in a week. I think that individual is wrong. He's been wrong about everything else that's happened so far. Ideally, the world is better by when's college supposed to start? Late August, early September.
Yeah, September.
Do you know? You don't know. What are you expecting? How do you even prepare? Right? Like normally, if this were me when I was 18, or I was 17, actually, just because of when my birthday falls. But when I was 17, 1 month left of college, there's a lot of, okay, what do I need to get ready to prepare for my dorm room in the fall? What do I need to, there's a lot of planning.
Mask.
Yeah. That's like, how much of that is really gone? How do you even prepare for the transition to your new life? Because there was also a lot of like that last month of high school. I think I mentioned on the show before, I moved to Pittsburgh for a summer program at my college. I did summer school before my school year started. So I moved here the first week or the second week of May or something like that, like right after graduation. I graduated. I graduated. I had a week and a half to hang out with my friends, and then I moved to
Disney World,
to college. But there was a lot of hanging out with my friends, just going to movies, going out to bars because my mom listens to the show. Whatever. There was a drinking establishment that we knew how to get into. There were things like that we were just a lot of seriously just hanging out in the park and hanging out because the world was going to change. That's gone. But there was also a lot of okay, I need my own. I think I had a little TV already, but even stupid shit like, oh, I need to, there were like CDs that or games or whatever that wasn't clear if it was my brother's or mine. And I had to make duplicates of stuff. There was a lot of preparing, what clothes do I want for the fall? Does any of that still happen?
I don't know. I don't think anyone's really planning for anything right now.
Right. Do you have any
tomorrow?
Faith? Yeah. Do you have any faith that there's even going to be, do you even know who your roommate is? Roommate selection was happening right now for me.
I don't know.
and our college is even doing that.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think you're alone. Yeah. That's kind of why I was curious. I think that all the stuff that would normally be happening senior year just seems like it's so gone right now. Because and here's the sad part. When I was 17, getting ready to go away to college, these were the most important things in the world to me. And for you guys, the most important thing is I would like to not get sick and die. That would be great. know? So
I think where I live, though, actually, my school that I'm going to, they sent us, it's so funny, like a little VR headset for our virtual admit weekend. So they're keeping us super, super updated. I've been planning a little bit, and my friends going to UCs have already, some of them have found their roommates through Facebook group chats already. So in a way, even though things are kind of stopped, I think that most people my age, fortunately, aren't worried about surviving so much as making sure that we're going to go to school in the fall. Mm-hmm. At least where I live, that seems to be the general concern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I think everyone just wants it to be over so we can get back to what we were doing and what we were looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And it is weird. And that's one of the, we said we were going to do this show. Part of it was, well, what's the younger generation thinking? And I mean, obviously, for the listeners, you see how I talk to the girls. It's not, I don't care that they're younger than me. I'm not, at all. And that's just, I talk to my 9-year-old niece the same way I talk to, anybody. So I'm not
the one who's been to Disney.
Yeah. No, she hasn't been. She has not been. No, they've been to Legoland.
And you have to go with her.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. If she wants to send me a ticket to go, I will totally go.
Go now. The lines are much shorter.
Yeah, the lines are. But I don't, there's sort of a weirdness to it because the premise of the show was, oh, well, are they even, do they feel supported by this meme, or is it, what's it like? And it's like, I don't know that your world's any different at 18 than mine is at 45. I mean, it's like there's a shit ton of really bad stuff happening in the world that we're all going through at the same time. And the fact that you can't go to, I mean, your job is school in the same way that our job is a job, but it's still the same effective blockage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're worried about the same things, I don't know.
Well, I think some of the difference with seniors in particular right now, so much of that, these are just seen as so much these cultural landmarks of your life. These are the milestones that people work toward. And so much of the question of that is just you're being denied an experience that everybody else gets. And that has to really stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I did do an Instagram poll on my story, and I found out that a lot of my peers were, even though we do feel bad about senior events and the fact that we are missing this big part of our life, I think that a lot of people are more worried about the fact that other people are dying and jobless, like they're scared for their family. And also some people are really active in terms of politics and just kind of thinking about how the government hasn't handled this in the best way. There's just a lot of connection to real life rather than just thinking about high school, I think.
Good.
I did a similar thing on my Instagram, and a lot of the responses were just pissed off that we're missing all of our senior stuff. Not so much that people are dying, but we're missing graduation, prom, the senior brunch, the night in hand thing, that everybody else got that and we didn't. Kind of selfish, but I think we deserve to be upset.
It's understandable. Yes, absolutely understandable.
And that difference might just be because of where we live too, honestly. Where I live, people are very liberal and politically active. So maybe that's part of why too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, I live in California.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, so
it'd be a little cultural difference.
United States.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's reasonable both ways, right? I mean, obviously, again, people who follow me know that I make no secret about being extremely political. On the other hand, I really, really do miss my stupid weekly trivia night. Just kind of going, going and hanging out with my friend. Again, it's something that I've done for 2 years that we go to this, or actually, I guess 2 or 3 years, we go to this stupid little bar and I sit there with my friends and we joke and play trivia. That's it. And have dinner. And I've done that every week for 3 years. And then it just stopped one day. And that sucks, and even if I missed a week, anytime that I've ever missed a week, it's because I had something better to do, right? I was on vacation or even if I had work, there was some reason why I was doing something else. Now I'm just not going because there's nowhere to go. And it's depressing. I understand that. I think I think it's fine to feel like something's taken out, especially if it's something that's a once in a lifetime thing. There, in some respect, prom, for instance, is just a party. You've been to parties before. You'll go to parties again, and if you want to dress up, you can. On the other hand, it's also prom. And to not have that, prom is a big enough thing that they make movies about it.
Yeah.
There's movies about prom night and we're going to go, and that's just a thing that's missing. And that is hard when it's something that you've worked towards your entire life. Graduation. You guys aren't going to have ceremonies, or I guess you're not sure, or.
Yeah, we're not sure right now.
Mm-hmm.
My graduation wasn't until June. Partially just we had a terrible winter here and missed a lot of days, so the entire school year was pushed back, making up those days. So if things do open up, you could theoretically still have some sort of ceremony in early June, but that depends on your school and the schedule and what all's going on, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know if or when we're going to have any sort of things, but I know a lot of people are trying to come up with some way of celebrating our class of 2020 in a graduation-esque thingy. Maybe not necessarily having all of us and all of our families sitting down in the spot where we do graduation, but something.
Yeah, and
Everybody sits 6 feet apart. They throw your diploma at you. Congratulations.
Well, I can see that happening all over. Is just if assuming things, people are allowed out by June. I can imagine a lot of informal graduation things going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Since we're getting to the end, I'm curious, what things do you guys think, from your perspective, are important to know? Like what do you, I don't know, it can be something you miss, something that's just interesting about it. Cause I'm just, we've been asking questions that are things that are like, as old people, what we're wondering, but like, what's important to you about all of this that you'd like to talk about?
Something that I want to mention that I just thought was really cool was that in my neighborhood, this lady started making signs for class of 2020 students. It's like we all have them in our yards, and it says, "My student is a class of 2020 graduate." And one of my friends who had his out, this totally anonymous lady dropped off a cute little care package for him. It had like snacks, and I swear none of them were poisoned or anything. It was just a really nice, like, yeah. The first thing that I thought was, that's a little scary, but it was seriously just a nice anonymous gesture. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
My town is being so supportive of like our class because it's a small town and people move back. So a lot of the kids in my grade, my mom went to high school with their parents. Yeah. So they've like been through this exact same school system. So a lot of people are, reaching out. Our town does like a sign thing like Tristyn said, but we've done that every year. They put it at kind of the end of the neighborhood with all the kids' names on it. And it's really exciting to see. And so ours is going to come soon, which is super, super exciting.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So we've resolved nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that is, I don't even know what to resolve. I mean, it's like, can we solve the COVID pandemic in an hour? No. Turns out none of us know how to do that. But I do think it is, I think it's a really weird situation. And like I said, I think it's kind of, we sort of started with the false premise of, how does this affect the young kids? But the answer is same as, you're both people, you're both smart, like you're 18, you're grown-ups. Like, this is, it affects you the same way it affects everybody else. And it sucks for everybody else. So, I mean, thanks to both of you for coming and talking about it.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
It's cool.
Yeah, this is great.
And congratulations on graduating. And good luck in the fall, whatever that looks like. Good luck. It's an exciting time.
It is. I mean, like, I hope that you have somewhere to go so that you're not starting college, and this is where, Tristyn, you weren't here on our college show, Sophie was. So starting college is supposed to be about going away and sneaking off and doing stuff that you're not supposed to tell your parents about. It shouldn't be in your living room.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I mean, like,
you can tell us because we're really not good adults.
Yeah. But I just, it is a very bizarre thing. And I hope it's over soon, just in general. But for it to happen at the point where you're supposed to be, here's the transition into your grown up life. And like, nope, we're going to put that off by 2 months, like that is an odd thing that that's why it's fascinating to me. And that's why I feel bad about it. But also, I think both of you are at least evidence of the fact that, you have found ways to deal with it. It is sort of here's this cultural experience we're all having, and you both made the best of it in some morbid, horrible way that you shouldn't have to, but great, and I do, Wayne, you said, where were you all during 9/11? We all know. So this is what our life is we all have to deal with this thing. And I think you're both showing that, like, being a kid doesn't mean you can't deal with it, or a young adult, or whatever the fuck I'm supposed to call you. So thanks for coming on and talking to us about it. You guys were great. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything that you want to promote? Tristyn, will you
Yes,
first?
for me, I would like to promote my YouTube channel. I started it because I do want to help give people free advice for college, because for me, that was super important. And I think just me getting accepted to the places that I got into. And also just going to plug my nonprofit really quick. We have an Instagram. It's at Youth4 Border Aid, 4 as in the number 4. And we're going to be making a video soon about how immigrants in my community are being impacted by COVID-19.
And real quick, what is it that I actually know? So this is also exciting. So what tell everybody what your nonprofit is, because we'll link both of those things in the show notes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So my nonprofit is about mobilizing the youth to collect resources for immigrants where I live. A lot of people have been displaced due to different policies enacted by our current administration, and also to advocate for immigrants' rights inside of the detention centers. Like right now, during COVID-19, ICE has refused to release people who have committed no crimes whatsoever. Immigrating illegally is a civil, not a federal crime. So this does not mean that they should stay kept in these facilities right now. So that's currently what we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sophie, what about you?
I think my mom wanted me to promote a GoFundMe page for.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So we do this thing every year for my school, where we have graduation in the day, and then that night, instead of all of the seniors just going home, that's the end of the year, we spend the night in the school, and they decorate it crazy. There's events, food, movies, anything you can imagine, and you just spend the night with your whole class as kind of a going away. This is our last time we're going to be together celebrating our class. So there's a GoFundMe if anybody wants to donate and help us possibly be able to have this like all the other classes got to have. That would be really appreciated for everyone in our town.
Yeah, absolutely. That will also be linked in the show notes. And let's see, Wayne.
All the same stuff. Nothing new since the last time we recorded 2 days ago.
It is weird being on the, we are recording in podcast time now. So
yeah, we've done 3 in the last, 4 days, 5 days?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Walking up. Let's see. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris Maverick, or on my blog at www.chrismaverick.com. You can follow the show on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, all the places, always at Vox Popcast. You can follow the show's blog at www.voxpopcast.com, where you get to learn about what we're talking about next week or the week after that. You can, we post calls for comments where you can ask questions of our guest and, join in our conversation. Sometimes we pick guests from the calls from comments, but that's all ways that you can sort of, figure out what's going on in the show. You can help contribute and, sort of inform our conversation and our thinking. If you enjoyed the show, and we certainly hope you do, because otherwise, why are you listening to us? But please subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify or wherever the hell else you get podcasts from. And do us a favor, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. If you do that, that helps other people find the show by goosing the algorithm, making us more popular. And, again, I've got nowhere to go. I've got nothing to do. My life is sad and meaningless. I'm in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. Make me popular, damn it.
We need a sponsorship so Mav can go to Disney World.
Yes. God, I want to go to Disney World. Please, so much. So, help us be popular so I can go to Disney World, because that should be what you're thinking about right now.
We should say Disneyland, because I would prefer going to California right now than Florida. So.
Yeah, there are
sorry,
people making
Florida.
really bad decisions in Florida right now.
Sorry, Florida.
If you watch the news.
I just like California a whole lot better anyway.
But anyway, I would like to thank Maximilian of Thoughtform Music for our epic theme song, building ever so more epically and playing us out. I'd like to thank you at home for listening. I'd like to thank both of our guests for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And now, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. One thing kids like is to be tricked. For instance, I was going to take my little nephew to Disneyland. But instead, I drove him to an old burned-out warehouse. "Oh no," I said, "Disneyland burned down." He cried and cried, but I think that deep down he thought it was a pretty good joke. I started to drive over to the real Disneyland, but it was getting pretty late.